Found our buddy Nate Tice here on Media Row, the president of the Drake May fan club. And no, we were sitting here last year talking to you.
Yep.
That one aged well. We're giving you credit for Drake May. Okay. We're giving Orlovsky credit for Jaden Daniels. Okay. And then Eric Kramer gets credit for Bo Nix because he's the only human on the planet that said the Bears should draft Bo Nix #1 overall. But the Drake May thing's aging well.
That's it. Yeah, it did. It did. Pretty excited about him. I'm still excited about Caleb. Just so you guys know this. I know I'm on a Bears show. But no, the May stuff I'm pretty excited about. See what he goes from here.
So I forget what I was talking about last night about this. But, like, what's weird about all this quarterback talk is I honestly feel like if all the same teams redrafted the same draft, I kind of feel like they'd all still pick the same quarterbacks.
Right. Well, and I talked with you guys about this, is that with Caleb, the early flashes before the Hail Mary game, as we'll just call it that, were the stuff that you want out of your franchise quarterback. It's the how he was doing the pre-snap processing, some of the creation stuff and all that. He was working on pushing the ball and everything like that. So I think now, now going with Ben Johnson too, people saying can't operate on time, I'm very excited to see because he wants to operate on time. Yeah. He wants to be perfect, and now he's going with a psycho offensive coordinator who I call him the sniper because he wants everything detailed. He has a specific play for every yard line, for everything, and he has these pristine designs. And I think Caleb has that a little bit of like a type A to him where he's like, I want things to be perfect. So I actually like the merit. So I think you're right that it's like it was going to fall the same way probably.
Well, the next big question with Ben Johnson after they hired him was like, well, what is his coaching staff going to look like? Right. I think it was a big credit to see a couple Lions coaches follow him to a 5-win Bears team. But I'm curious your thoughts on guys like Declan Doyle. They bring in, a guy, a maligned offensive coordinator from the Jacksonville Jaguars, a younger offensive staff. I'm just curious from your perspective how you think that group, JT Barrett, these guys are going to help develop Caleb Williams, not just Ben Johnson having to do that.
Well, it's just having the game plans being cohesive. I think that was missing all last year, whether it was Waldron or insert play caller here. I think that's just what I think everything was discombobulated. It was like we were very siloed, the offense. And I think with Ben Johnson having so much reins, all the assistants will probably fall in line. Even if they are younger, they know the offense as well. And I think that offensive scheme will be a nice transition for there. So as long as there's a consistent message, sometimes there's too many cooks in the kitchen, especially with quarterbacks. The quarterback coach is saying one thing, the passing coordinator is saying, offensive coordinator, and then the head coach. I think, all right, Ben Johnson's going like, this is my guy, he knows the offense. This is my guy who knows. Okay, now we have one consistent message going to Caleb. I think that's going to be huge for him. For me, I was hoping that he would get Hank Fraley with him, offensive line coach or run game coordinator, whatever title they want to give him. So like how they nail the offensive line stuff is really what I'm keeping my eyes on because I think that's where you're going to see the most growth. I'm still hitting the table to get a center, a long-term center.
Oh my God, you and me both.
Oh my God, just do it. Please get a center.
So you say long-term center. I was disappointed last year. There were so many good centers in the draft, like literally 14 of them.
Screaming for it.
And the Bears didn't draft any of them. But that center-quarterback combination is so crucial for offensive success. Do you think that the Bears need to attack free agency to address that long-term answer at center, or draft someone and then go through those growing pains of a rookie center with a second-year quarterback?
I think they draft someone. Just looking at this free agency class as well, there's not a lot of center candidates that I would want to invest in. There's some nice stopgaps, like a Kelly, coming from the Colts, Drew Dahlman from the Falcons, but those guys to me are, at this point in time, more adequate starters as opposed to a needle mover, as opposed to a game changer. Centers have a boost effect on everybody else, like on the offense, a good center. If you watch Zach Frazier, what he did for the Steelers this year, second-round pick, and if he wasn't in the game, that offensive line just fell apart. And this, I've never seen a rookie center, I shouldn't say never, but it's rare to see a rookie center have that much control of the offense. And you can see the calmness it brings to everybody else. And it felt so many times, it was weird for me to see a rookie quarterback have to put so much on his plate. And Caleb last year, it's good, cool that you can do it, but it's like, that's not what you want. You want the center to be able to handle, then we give it to the quarterback. So for me in this draft, there's not like a guy that's like, the center from Georgia, maybe. There's a lot more guys that are at different positions that can have upside as a center. Gray Zabel from North Dakota State. Even Will Campbell. I still think he can hang at tackle. He might be best as a center. There's a lot of those it's an interesting draft class overall, but offensive line, there's some like positional switch guys that you could find a long-term center. It will be a transition.
No, but wait, are either of those guys that you just mentioned as a potential move to center, can you get them in the second round, or do you have to make a move in the first round to get that guy?
I think Zabel you could get in the second, but the thing was he had a great Senior Bowl.
Yeah. He's the new darling.
Yes,
Every
I know.
time, North Dakota State.
I know, and he plays. I mean, he would be in. I don't think he can hang at tackle, but he's a guard or center. He did well at center as well. He was the guy that actually kind of was like, dang it, his hype train left the station. These guys. Yeah, I think DJ's going to have him probably in his first round.
I can start the misinformation spread.
Yeah, that's what you want to go
You're
to.
good at that.
And there's other guys in this class. Marcus Mbao from Purdue. There's other guys that are athletes. My dad used to always like to take left tackles, move them to center. That's what Matt Burke was from Harvard. Guys that could transition on over there. Rodney Hudson was a tackle at Florida State, believe it or not, then moved to center in the pros.
That's what Graham Barton did last year.
Graham Barton, who's one of my favorite. That's actually who I was screaming for the Bears to draft. I was screaming. Everyone made fun of me because we had a streak where I mentioned Graham Barton on like 10 straight shows. Who's laughing now? So, but look what he did to the Bucs. I mean, yes, some improvement. The other offensive lineman for the Bucs, you saw the right tackle Gedeke play a lot better. The right guard Mock play a lot better. But you got Barton in there, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, we're good against the blitz now. Oh, our run game's a lot better because our double teams are better. So I think that's more than anything, more than the tackles, more than anything, more than a running back, more than another receiver, more than a tight end. It's like the center truly is like where I think they can make the biggest jump in their play.
So Nate is working with Yahoo Sports now. He's upgraded to one of these big stages around the.
We got a car.
Yeah,
it's over there somewhere.
It's a car?
We have a car. Yeah, it's behind the red wall there.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Good old Toyota. He's moving on up, which he should, and he's always talking scheme. So after the Bears drafted hired Ben Johnson, I should say, I went back and I watched the first Lions-Vikings game from this year, like the coach's film of it. Like, to your point, calling him the sniper. So I think it was only 3 incompletions Jared Goff had that entire game. Yep. 2 of them were knockdowns at the line of scrimmage, and the other one was actually just a bad throw. He had out of bounds on one deep ball. But for the most part, like, I don't want to take anything away from Jared because he played great. But, like, you could just tell it's one of those games where, like, he was just scheming up answers the entire time against, and the reason why I put stock in the Vikings specifically, not only because he's still going to face the Vikings twice a year, but because of everything that defense has been able to do under Brian Flores and make it so confusing. And obviously it worked against Justin Fields, it worked against Caleb Williams. Like, I just found that tape to be very significant when it comes to the Bears getting Ben Johnson.
It's because all the rules are so sound in the offense. It's a Sean Payton offense, which is one of my favorites anyways, because everything's sound. Yes, they run a lot of gadget plays and everything, but it's not gimmicky. There's a reason they're running these double reverses and everything. Like, you're going into the range to do it. You also have the dudes to do it, which also helps. But I think that's what's so cool is that there's nothing I watched with the Lions. Maybe a play didn't work, but I was like, why the hell are you doing that? Okay, maybe the reverse pass for Jameson Williams. That maybe that's one. I'll give it one.
Penei Sewell throwing the ball against the Bears.
Okay, maybe a little too much, but too big for the britches. But I really watch it because it was like, oh, of course you're running this run this week. They were very varied in the run game. And at first, when Ben Johnson took over, you could see sometimes that didn't work as great, even though they had a good offensive line. But then over time, it ended up being a good thing because it was like, oh, we need to go to this run. Oh, okay, now we have a play-action concept that's cohesive. Everything working synergy with the offense, and I know that's why I'm excited about to see him with Caleb, because, again, I think that just matches the skill set so well that, yeah, we're going to call this play at the 22-yard line because this, and this, and it's going to go for a big play, or we have options in case it doesn't go well.
See, but that's interesting because you say you feel like it matches with Caleb.
I do.
So that's encouraging, I think, for Bears fans to hear, but I am still curious about it because he said in his opening press conference, I'm not running the Lions offense. This is not the Lions. We are the Bears. We have different personnel here. So saying where you're saying Caleb needs to play in structure and wants to, but also not taking away what makes him special, and that's clearly when he gets out of the pocket and makes plays. So, like, how do you anticipate that balance and how quickly something like that can come together in a first-year offense with new offensive line pieces?
So one thing that Caleb's really good at is, as you guys probably know, is like underneath throws, how quick he can get the ball out, how creative he is with that. So I think you'll see more of that in this offense. They will run some smoke screens and everything with Jared Goff and Amon-Ra St. Brown, especially kind of working from the slot. I think there's an increase in those because Caleb is so quick getting the ball out, getting it onto the guys. I also want to see Roman Dunze in the Amon-Ra St. Brown role. I think he's a power slot. I think he's Chris Godwin. That's my projection for him.
How does that work with DJ Moore then?
He's next to me.
Yeah, okay.
And that's more Jameson Williams in this offense. Because DJ Moore in my brain is a vertical underneath guy. Go balls, post.
Like either or.
either or.
Yeah.
And that's an X.
Yeah.
That to me is an X, and getting those screens and everything works as well. It wants to be a 2 tight end offense as well, but I think what's nice is if they go 3 wide, that's why I like Ndunze in the St. Brown role. He's a good blocker. He's big. He's good on screens, which is a Chris Godwin trait as well. Like, he can get north there. He's a simple runner, but I mean that as a positive. He can get those yards easily. And I just think his skill set actually matches what this offense is going to be really well. So, but like what you're talking about too is like merging kind of the worlds. There is more traditional quarterback to Caleb than I think people realize. So I think he's saying, yeah, it's not going to be the Lions offense. There's going to be aspects to it. Even looking at Sean Payton, what he's doing with Bo Nix, that's a Sean Payton offense. There's just a couple of little things that they do, maybe some more RPOs and everything that he might not do with an older quarterback or a less athletic quarterback. So I think that's where you see maybe some more throws on the move. But they would do bootlegs with the Lions, but I think maybe more of that. Get them outside the pocket, not because of simplicity's sake, but to create, hey, that's not open, go create. Go throw across your body. Go and go do those types of things that you can do. So maybe more stuff on the move, more quick passes than you see with the Lions.
Speaking on the move, DeAndre Swift was once under Ben Johnson and then was put on the move to Philly, right?
Yep.
So does DeAndre Swift fit a Ben Johnson offense, or do you think the Bears are going to be looking for a new answer?
They're going to be looking for a new answer at running back. It's because what I just meant, how type A Johnson is, how everything has to be, we're doing this because of this, at this yard line because of this. Swift is not that type of running back. He's not an on-schedule running back. He tried this year. I actually thought this was the best. He tried to stay on script, go between the tackles. How much he bounced everything. They got frustrated with him, I could tell, because they started working away his touches. That's why they moved on and got David Montgomery. That's why they got Jahmyr Gibbs, because they're like, okay, we can recreate this with better, more on-time players and just more guys that get the yards blocked for him. So I don't think Swift is a good fit, because there's a reason he was no longer with the Lions, and that's because of Johnson and not just having to on-schedule.
So who are you taking in the draft?
Hang on real quick, though, because it's
center.
Yeah, I'm with you on
center.
that.
Not Genti.
Center.
So it's since I've been at CHGO, like, I'm not at the games as much anymore, but I covered the Week 18 game at Lambeau in the press box. And when it came to Swift, I haven't even said this on the show yet, but I was sitting there with Adam Johns in the middle of the game, like, sitting there from the press box view, watching the run game. I'm like, I am seeing way more yards that he's leaving out on the field than I am like when I'm watching on TV. Like, it was just so obvious. It's the best way I could explain it was like, dude, there were 3 more yards there. Or that, there was 5 more yards there, and he just, like, you could just see it better. And so, like, I could see why the Bears would be getting frustrated.
Yeah, and I was very surprised they even made that move, because I thought Roschon Johnson and somebody else would be a nice little pairing. You don't have to invest too much in it. So I thought that was just a really curious move to me, anyways. But that's what coaches want. Yes, you want the guy that can create the big play. Why Jahmyr Gibbs, even without the David Montgomery injuries, got more run was he started learning to pass protect, which is 1. 2 was he started taking the simple yards. He started, rather than just go as fast as I can to the outside, he went slow down, let it block, and then get north, which is, running backs have to learn that. DeAndre Swift is, on his 4th team? 1, 2, 3, 4? Yeah, 4th team? Third team?
Yeah, four if he goes somewhere else.
Yes, third team. Everybody's had the same frustrations. It's kind of like a cheetah doesn't change their spots. Kind of like this is kind of what he is at this point in time.
So, yeah, real quick, who are we getting in the draft at running back? Because it's a good running back class.
And you don't have to rush to get one, but Hampton from North Carolina, I would really like. Caleb from Iowa, I really like. A lot of size guys. Hampton, Omarion.
He tore up our Badgers this year.
Yeah, oh my God, he did. Yes.
That a horrible game.
But that's what I think Ben Johnson wants before he gets the speed Jahmyr Gibbs type. He wants the sturdy David Montgomery, Javonte Williams type that they had in Detroit. So to me, that's Hampton. But that's the thing, this type of draft class, that's a lot of green chips, not blue chips, there might be more than one running back in the first round, because I just think of how it goes, where these guys are ranked on boards. There's a lot of good backs. Devin Neal from Kansas is another guy, maybe in round 3, is a guy that maybe I like. He was at the Senior Bowl as well, I believe. Those guys, either the Ohio State guys. I would say Henderson would be, I like as a 2 more than like a 1, but if you got another guy, yeah, that's okay. But then Judkins could get those simple yards and run tough and everything. But they need a guy that can be, I won't say plotter. They need the efficient back first. And then that way they can get on schedule, stay on schedule, work with the offensive line, get those simple yards, and then you get the juice guy later. So to me, that's Hampton, a big back.
But get a center.
Get a center. Round 2, center. Unless Will Campbell is there, round 1, freaking take it.
This is why we're friends. Draft a center. I said last year, draft a center number 1 overall.
Ever since what's his name was center there? Oh my God, who's Justin Fields' center? Now his name is now gone out of my
Sam
mind.
Mustafa.
That was like a curse word in the group chat for me because how much we had to watch Sam Mustafa and botch protections time after time after time.
It was rough. All right. Nate Tice, Yahoo Sports. We love him. Good to have you back on the show.
That was awesome. Great to have you.
Thank you.